and welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Would you want to have a job where the approval rating for those people doing that job is just 6%? Well, there's a job out there that has that kind of an approval rating. It's called being a legislator, being a senator or a representative. And now we have a very brave lady sitting here next to me, because she's going to be vying for one of those jobs with a low approval rating.
Yes, well,
but you're going to bring it up, right?
That's right. Well, we are sick of people doing nothing. We're sick of career politicians who tell us what we want to hear but don't actually do anything.
I need to introduce you.
Yes.
This is Katie Britt.
Hi, it's very nice
just
to
walked
meet
in
you.
here to bend my ear.
Hey, I'm ready to go.
She's ready to go.
That's
and
right.
she is Senator Shelby, after 36 wonderful years, is going to be stepping down from his Senate seat. And Katie, who worked for Senator Shelby for a number of years, chief of staff in a number of different roles, is now going to be vying for that position.
Yes,
ready to roll.
We are ready. We believe it's time for the next generation to get off the sideline. I mean, our generation has to stop sitting down and just hoping things get better. We've got to get engaged and we've got to go fight. I mean, go fight for our Christian conservative values. I mean, go fight for Alabama, and make sure hardworking Alabamians have a seat at the table.
Well, I continue to speak up, and everybody says, why? You're old. I've got 9 grandchildren.
That's right.
I need to leave them something besides, you left me this.
That's right. Well, and that's ultimately my husband Wesley and I prayed about this and prayed about it and really wrestled with it. And we just don't recognize our country anymore. We believe if we don't get engaged and fight, there's not going to be a country left for our children to fight for. Well,
in your case, and you're very young, okay? I can think back 20 years, and I can think back 30 years, and it's not. This is not the same place that it was.
It's not.
Even 10 years back. It's crazy.
I do. I love that. I loved you called me young. I'm actually older than good old Tom Cotton when he went to the Senate, and Marco Rubio when he went to the Senate, and Josh Hawley when he went to the Senate. But we don't have any, as you mentioned, younger conservative females in the Senate. And let me tell you something. I am a mama on a mission, and I am ready to go fight for my children and their future.
It's about time.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So let's talk a little bit about medical care.
Yes.
Because obviously for our audience, they're getting a little bit older. Every time you turn around, the scare tactics are out there. Oh, Medicare is going to go away. Oh, Medicaid's going to go away. Oh, Social Security. Everything's going to go away. Well, first and foremost, Social Security is not an entitlement. We put money into it. We're just getting our money back.
That's right. And the thing is generation upon generation has invested.
Yes.
And those people who have depended on that, and you have obviously created your entire life plan around that, that has to be protected. America has to be as good as its word, and we have to make sure that what you put in, that you're going to be able to get out, and America continues its commitment to those who are on Social Security and others to make sure that they can continue to live in the way that they planned. So I am firmly committed to that, and also creating access to care. So we look around our state, and we have many rural hospitals that have closed in the last several years. And we just came through. I say we've come through the pandemic. I know that we are still in the midst of it. I want it to be over.
It's going to go away.
But showing the need for broadband and the fact that we rank 47th in the nation. But when people needed telehealth, and I think that is obviously the wave of the future in many ways, to be able to have that video conference with your doctor.
Well, especially, we're very much rural. We're a rural state.
We are, and we need a leader in D.C. that's going to be our partner, that'll work with local and state leaders to make sure that we get connectivity all across our state, so that our population, our more mature population, has an opportunity to dial up and FaceTime with their doctor when they need to, and that our young children have an opportunity to do their homework at home, and their mamas don't have to drive to McDonald's and sit outside while they finish their work. So making sure that zip code doesn't define opportunity despite your age is something that I am very, very committed to.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, in 2020, there was a big thing out there called voter fraud. Now, I'm going to say it. People, well, you can't say that. There wasn't. Yes, how do we get a handle on that? Because let me say this. You're a good person.
Thank you.
We can say, I'm going to vote for you.
Right.
But if my vote doesn't get to
That's
the
right.
final tally,
That's right.
then
Doesn't matter.
it was done in vain.
Well, and I'll go a step further and say if people do not have faith in our election system,
Yes.
our democracy will crumble. And if you look back, I mean, years now, there was a study put out in 2005, and then you look at what happened in 2016 with the far left saying, oh, there was interference in our election. And if you look back, you'll see on the New York Times and all of those type of publications where they said, oh, our elections have been compromised and our democracy will crumble. Well, then in 2020, when we saw what we saw across the nation and the changing of laws and people not being able to have faith that their vote counted, I really believe we're at a crossroads. And we have to stand up and fight. If you look at HR 1 and S1, that are, that is a taking of our election system. It is a federalization of the elections, taking away states' rights. It would essentially outlaw voter ID. It would allow for ballot harvesting across the country. And then it would take your taxpayer dollars and your viewers' taxpayer dollars and send them to people that they don't share their values. And so those types of things would change our democracy forever. And so one, we have to stand up and fight against those. And two, we have to take a hard look at what happened in our elections, particularly in 2020, and get to the bottom of that so that people can have faith in our elections moving forward, or mark my words, it will be a crack in the foundation of our democracy that will ultimately cause it to crumble.
Absolutely, absolutely. So moving forward, when you get into this position,
Yes.
how do you reach across the aisle? That's been something that's been, I remember because I'm old enough to remember years ago where Democrats become Republicans kind of yelled at each other,
Right.
but then they work together. Now it seems like that's just a hate factor out there.
Right, and I'll have to say there's a change in dynamic, and I think part of it has to do with social media. And with people being able to tweet out, whatever it is they want to, you have Nancy Pelosi tweeting something, and then you have a Republican, leader in the House doing something back versus having conversation. And also you have, 24-hour news where we have a lot of elected leaders that want to go be TV stars.
Right.
And that's not what it's about.
No.
It is about putting
Getting
your
the
head
job
down
done.
and getting the job done. And so that means, you have to sit down with people who don't think exactly like you to figure out how you can move your values and your priorities forward. But if you don't have a conversation, you're not going to get anywhere. And so we've got to have the kind of people that can figure out, the Senate is a chess game, and figure out how do we make sure that our values, our conservative values, our things that are important to Alabama, hardworking Alabamians, how do we move those forward? And that's working with people and pushing forward. And one thing I've always done is been able to get results. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do in the United States Senate.
Good. Let our viewers know how they can reach out to you.
Yes.
So tell us about the campaign. There's a website, obviously a phone number.
Yes, there's a website. It's katiebrittforalabama.com, and we need you. We have to be a grassroots, campaign and reaching people all across the state, people being willing to tell people or put a yard sign in their yard and spread the word. Our phone number is 334-235-7870. I certainly always want to hear from the people across the state. That's what we're doing. We're going and listening. So if there's something you feel like needs to be on my radar, let me know. I look forward to serving the people of Alabama and making sure we preserve the country we know and love.
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just remember this, do your homework. There's good candidates and there's great candidates. And we'll be right back right after this.